So tonight we're discussing 10 years of defamation, defamation, stress that has been put on you for over 10 years for a situation that involves four parties, professional parties.
Yes.
So before we get into that, who is Jeri Patterson? Now we've heard what you do, your professions that you've been in. Who is Jeri Patterson? Jeri Clark-Patterson.
Jeri Clark-Patterson is a person who's passionate,
A little bit.
who's optimistic, articulate, and is caring, and take everything to heart. I am a mother of one son. He's 24 now, and I just want to get my story told as far as what happened that was in the past into the present.
Okay, okay. Now, all of this took place in the village of Matson.
Yes,
And Matson is a smaller town right outside of Chicago. Do you
correct.
want to give any history on Matson and how you got there and what put you in Matson, I'm sorry, what put you there in the realm of these other people, these other parties that we'll discuss later on?
Okay. Well, I had an interview.
Sorry, speak up a
I
little bit
currently
further.
worked
Okay,
and lived in Madison. So I had an interview. It was a group interview, and actually, I worked for Congresswoman Robin Kelly at the time.
okay,
She ended up leaving, and I had management with Andre Ashmore, who was the village president at the time, and his wife, Tony Ashmore.
first party involved.
Yes,
And second party involved Tony Ashmore, which is
his
the
wife.
wife of Andre Ashmore.
Correct,
Okay.
correct. And also the village administrator, Brian Mitchell.
Okay, now it's number three,
That is
third party.
yes, the third party.
And the fourth party, who is this fourth party?
An
An
ex-boyfriend.
ex-boyfriend. Ain't it always that, y'all?
Yes, an ex-boyfriend. His name is Victor Marshall.
Victor Marshall. And so tonight we are getting it all out there. Jeri is telling her story and she's asking why. And at the end of this production, we're hoping that Jeri receives what she's looking for. Jeri, what is that you're looking for?
I'm looking for closure and a formal written apology
A written apology.
and addressing how, why, and what.
How, why, and what.
Yes.
Alrighty. So with these three parties, professional parties, we're talking village administrator.
Yes.
The wife had a community affairs position,
Correct.
and the third party administrator, and then the boyfriend. Now, how are all of these people tied in together?
These three people from the village is tied in together working for. The ex-boyfriend is a fraternity brother of Brian Mitchell.
Do we want to put that fraternity out there?
I won't say the fraternity,
Okay.
but it's the fraternity brother.
But
Yes.
he's a brother. He's a brother of
Yes.
some fraternity, okay?
Yes.
And we know what goes on in those fraternities.
Yes.
Ah,
And so it just caught me by surprise because when I was working there, it was a setup. I faced with slander, stating that I cheated on my college education.
wow, wow. And so for 10 years, this is called stress. You spoke on your son. Your
Yes.
son is 24 years old
Yes,
now.
yes.
He's been going through stress from his friends because we all know teenagers, friends, they play the dozens. They can be very cruel.
Yes.
So from the time your son has been 13 up until 24 now,
Yes.
he's dealing with stress
Yes.
from all of this going on. It's
And I would say
affected
a turmoil. And that's how
turmoil.
I put it as a turmoil.
And
Yes.
this has affected you socially,
Yes.
your work,
Yes.
your family, your friends,
Yes.
and you believe it's defamation of character,
Yes.
slander.
Yes, it is.
So I'm sure at this point, everyone wants to know what did they do to you. So let's go ahead and get on started. Take us all the way back 10 years ago.
Yes.
How did this get started? And where did they start defaming you? Just give us history of how did this come about? Why are we here today? And you wanting this apology from these people?
It came about when I was working under their management.
Okay, and you want to also
Now,
make sure you
yes,
give our audience
yes,
some
it
of what's
came
going on.
right. It came about working under their management.
Okay.
Now, I loved my job at the time. I've done all. I've given my all, dedication and commitment. So I'm just upset, highly upset and furious and hurt as to why this slander suing my college education came about. Why would you do this?
So all of this and all of the slander and everything, it's revolved around basically them saying that you got a Santos situation going on, that your credentials are fabricated.
Right.
Now, where would they come up with this?
And that's what my question is. I am very hurt. Uh, suing my college education, I think that is very petty to me. I feel that why would you do this? This 40, the ex-boyfriend, 40 text messages to the village administrator.
So the ex-boyfriend is the fraternity brother
Right.
of the administrator
Yes,
or
correct.
the village president.
The fraternity brother is for Brian Mitchell, the village administrator at
He's
that
he's a
time.
brother. He's a fraternity brother of the administrator. So
Right.
that's the connection that the ex-boyfriend. Because I'm sure a lot of our viewers will want to know what's the connection with the ex-boyfriend
Right.
versus your work circle.
Exactly.
But they're fraternity brothers,
Yes,
and so
they
that's
are.
the connection.
Yes.
Okay, and so let's just talk about what did they do to you?
It is the slander stating I cheated on my college education. These are false lawsuits. Why would you do this with false lawsuits against you? And then the slander stating that I'm an embarrassment. How am I an embarrassment? Why would you have all of this slander stating I'm embarrassment, simple minded, disappointment, accident, stupid for a long time? Why would you say like this? This is all from the former ex boyfriend.
And so the boyfriend is basically, can we say, a bitter man, a bitter breakup. He's going through some bitterness,
Maybe.
and he's just finding comfort within himself to slander you. And he went to his brothers, his
Yes.
fraternity brother, which then has gone to everyone that you work with.
Yes.
And you stated that over 10 years it's affected your work,
Yes,
your
it has
family.
affected my
So
work,
tell
my
us how.
family. It has affected my social life. It's affected my employers who I've worked for, worked with, my
So let's go
referrals.
into that, because off camera you did say that because of what's going on, when you go into a job for the last 10 years, when you go into a job, you feel the need to discuss, at least give your employer a heads up of what may be coming to the company because this has been following you for the last 10
Exactly.
years. So
Yes.
let's talk about that. Let's talk about how, specifically, how it's affecting your work situation.
I am working, and it's all hearsay, all hearsay. And I said, okay, well, I need to make sure these four individuals are placed on file with each and every one of my employers from what has transpired in the past now to the present.
So has anyone ever come to your job? Have they ever called, other than because they all have connections to the village of Matson
Correct.
because they work there and the ex-boyfriends are friends with them.
Friends
But
with
yes,
Ryan Mitchell.
but at a point you were no longer working at the village of Matson, and
Correct.
you are now at Northwestern,
Correct.
and you've worked at a few other places throughout the years, but it's
Yes.
always come back. So how is
Yes.
this coming back into? Because what I would assume that they have some type of connection, or we're just dealing with, it's a small world, and just coincidentally they are connecting with people that you're connecting with as the years progress to keep this slander, keep the defamation going for 10 years.
Yes, this is correct. Um, Friends of mine, my girlfriends, has been affected with this, especially my employers, with my who I've worked for and worked for in the past.
What are you experiencing in your workplace?
Right now, it's the stress, just the hearsay of what Andre Ashmore has transpired, what the ex-boyfriend has transpired, and has come to this present and to this present day. So now all of my past employers stated as far as with my resume, all my past employers has been affected with this turmoil from the past into the present. Have stressed them out. It has caused me stress that I'm constantly facing migraine headaches. They're stressed, saying that, okay, Jerry, we know you didn't cheat on your college education. That's crazy. Why would they do this?
So when they say cheated on your college education, and I refer to Santos because this is right now one of the biggest stories going on in the world, that you have this gentleman that has fabricated, and I believe if I'm not mistaken, there's an alderman recently elected within the 21st Wards community that is also, it came out at a point that education has been fabricated, job experience, things like this has been fabricated. And so that's not a good look. I know with Santos, he's been completely expelled. We did see the alderman that at the end of his campaign, there were a few newspapers that came out with this type of information. It didn't harm his campaign, but like I said, as in with Santos, he's lost his job completely. So where are they getting even the possibility of the thoughts that you cheated? And when they say you cheated on your education, what are they meaning? Are they
That's
saying
what
like you? Are they meaning? Did you fabricate your application? I mean, did you just not go to school, or what
and
are they
that's why
saying?
I want to know, why would you say this? Why would you do this
Well, what
to
are what are they
damage me?
saying?
To damage me, saying that I cheated on my college. Well, how did I cheat on my college education? Andre Ashmore, Tony
I mean,
Ashmore, Brian Mitchell,
did you
Bishop
get past
Martin.
some student loans? Because I wouldn't call that cheating, honey.
So
Let
I'm
me
trying
know
to
how you got
I'm
past
trying to
them, because I might
understand
be in this boat
this.
with you.
I'm trying to understand it myself, Miss Queenie. I'm trying to understand.
So, I mean, did you fabricate your GPA?
No,
Did you fabricate your
no,
credentials?
no,
Is is
no.
is there anything in your work history record that would even, make a person say, this doesn't sound right, this isn't right. Maybe she didn't pass this, or maybe she fabricated. Where is it coming from?
It's coming from just hearsay from them, and it has damaged me personally.
Now, why do you think they're targeting you? Now, of course, it makes sense, and we would all know why the boyfriend would target you.
Exactly.
We've all probably been targeted by past relationships, so that's understandable. But with these other three parties, why you? Why are they targeting you?
I have that. I want to know that question as well. I have dedicated my service for them, my work for them. I have done everything. I have presented ideas to Mr. Andre Ashmore for creating more programs for the village. The National Night Out was my idea. All of my ideas to bring revenue to the village was my idea, which the board had voted on and approved it. So all of my ideas was presented to him and his wife. So why would you say this? Why would you damage me and say I cheated on my college education?
Now, was this to end your job because maybe they didn't want you in the office because they were in the office? I mean,
No.
I would think where we know it's from the boyfriend. So we know that that's solidified. But why would three other people jeopardize their characteristics? Why would they jeopardize their names, their characters, and also their jobs? Why would they do all of this to defame you? Why are they so strong and so invested into just defaming and making your life a living hell?
And that's what I want to know. Now, at that time, our supervisor was on leave, so I was interim supervisor. But the management, how they worked at the village, a lot of the employees weren't happy. Okay, and
With the three parties that had
right,
these positions, and with the positions that you've given me, we're talking president of
right,
the village,
right,
administrator, and
yes,
the wife had a community affairs position within the
correct,
village.
correct,
So these aren't just interning, mail collecting. These are people with high positions
right.
in that village that can harm your job. So were they trying to harm your job? Were they trying to get you put out the building?
And that's what I'm trying to understand. Why would you do? I'm trying to understand.
So in
That's
10
what I'm
years,
trying to understand. Why would you do this? Now there were employees that weren't happy. I wasn't happy either. So one, I was let go, which is wrongfully termination and
okay.
slander. They wanted me to come back for my supervisor's position, and I declined. I declined.
So you were
So,
fired because of all of this.
and it wasn't even fire; it was just let
You were
go.
let go.
Yes, it was let go. So,
What was
okay,
the reason?
what
Was there ever any discussion on what reason you were let go?
it's because I wasn't happy. And from there, two departments left them because of their manager. They wanted me to come back, and I declined because I wasn't happy. So all of a sudden, all of this transpired with cheating on my college education. Okay, well, how did I cheat on my college education? That's what I want to know. How did I cheat on my college education?
So
Andre
basically, you're
Ashmore,
saying
Tony Ashmore, Brian Mitchell,
so you're saying
Victor
they
Marshall.
had absolutely no reasons to treat you the way that they treated you, say the things that they said, and then after you weren't working there anymore, to pretty much to cover their tracks. Then that's when the you cheated on your education
Right,
came in
exactly. In
to basically say
2013.
that you should have never been there because your credentials weren't correct.
No, my credentials fit the role. So I had even more skills.
So and to this day you're saying why?
Exactly.
Why? I don't
Why
know
would you
why.
do this?
So in 10
How,
years,
why, and what?
you've had no conversation with any of these
No,
parties, none
no,
whatsoever.
no,
Social media, everybody's got drama on Facebook,
no,
honey. I got drama on Facebook.
no,
Everybody's got drama. This sounds like this is some hot tea with some lemon and some lime
yes.
hibiscus added into it, honey.
And after
So
I found
where is it
out,
coming from?
and after I found out that the ex-boyfriend was forwarding text messages to the village administrator,
Forwarding your text messages?
forwarding text
Wow.
messages to the
Wow.
village administrator, why would you do this? And then slander me and slander me.
So basically, we've got
And
professional adults.
And I trusted these four individuals. So why would you do this to me and damage me?
So we've got four professional adults that are sending text messages, keeping your and I presume that you're saying text messages that were between you and him.
Right.
Were now you got to give it to me because you don't put everybody on blast, baby. You put
Yes.
them all out there. So you
Yes.
got to give me some truth too.
Yes.
Did you say something? Did you say, you know, that one over there. Did you text the ex-boyfriend saying, that one over there, I don't mess with that one over there, and I don't like that one over there, and then that's why he sent a text message? Or, I mean, because why would he send a text message that you're saying, I don't have any problem with these people, I love these people? I presume he wouldn't send that text message. You only gonna put out
all
some
the
stuff that's
text
gonna
messages,
stir up some drama.
all of the text messages was personal between him and I. So my question is, why are you forwarding text messages and then
Personal
awarding me
text message.
right
Are we
and
talking?
awarding
Now
and
I'm gonna get
awarding
juicy,
me
baby. I'm gonna
and
get juicy,
awarding me
baby.
an embarrassment?
Are we talking personal text message that are between you and him, sexual things like that, or
No,
you
it was just
discussing
general.
other
It
people,
was
just
just
general
general
conversation
conversation. General
that has
conversation.
nothing to
Text
do with
message.
these other people?
Right. Just general confirmation. So it was a setup. Why would you do this to me? Why would you damage me and and state and exploit me, stating that I cheated on my college education? I'm an embarrassment. Can't read and write.
Well, I mean they
Simple
well, I
minded.
mean they
And all
hired
of
you,
this
so
awarding is from an
they
ex
hired you. How long
boyfriend.
did you work in the village?
I've worked there.
How
Oh,
in the village?
in the village,
Hmm.
I've worked there for over 13,
Over
13
over
years.
13 years. So we know you
Yes.
know how to read and write. So
Right.
we can
But
go.
this is
We can
from
get
the
back.
ex boyfriend.
Hmm. Hmm.
So Andre Ashmore, Tony Brian Mitchell never stated that I couldn't read and write.
This is all coming from the boyfriend.
From the ex
So
boyfriend.
so now I've got to ask because I know the viewers want to know what's going on with you and this boyfriend. It had to be a bad breakup.
It was a breakup, but he wanted to come back into my life and asking friends for my number. I want to get back in her life. Okay, so I said, okay, to be friends. This is fine. We'll be a friend. I always confided all of what I'm going through with him. So we were friends. So why would you slander me? Why would you do this? And say, okay, well, you're an embarrassment. You can't read and write. Simple minded, disappointment, accident, stupid for a long time, all is which is slander.
So let me ask you this, and I'm going to ask you this as
And how did I cheat
being
on my college education?
being an
I've
adult.
known you
Being an
from
adult,
college.
I'm going to ask you the things that you said that they said.
Yes.
Some of our viewers will say, I've been called every one of those. Because I promise you, honey, on your list, I've been called every single one of those. At this point, I'm pretty sure somebody's tuning in right now today saying something and saying she this and she that. This is just what we go through. I mean, in life, everyone's not gonna like you. Everyone's not gonna like you.
This is
You're
true.
not
This
gonna
is
please
true.
everybody. And you know, we tend to have situations where this one might like me because that one doesn't like me and they don't know me. And so is that what's going on? What I'm just trying to find out. 10 years. 10 years is a long, long time to have embedded issues with
Yes.
four people that over the 10 years you say you haven't had any contact with them.
No, I have not.
So if you haven't had any contact with them over 10 years, you've moved on from that position. Why is it still affecting you?
It's affected me as far as my employment, as
Now,
far
when
as
you say
affecting
when you say affecting you as far as your employment,
right, because I had to remove them from my resume. It's
okay,
rumors now. You're cheating on your resume.
because of course
You'll regret in hiring.
if any
Well,
job if
right.
any of your jobs that you
Interviews.
went into, interviews or jobs you went into, if they wanted to then go and talk to those people that are references, you're afraid that they're going to defame your character to the new employer and
So
they're
I
going
had to,
to
yes, so I had to
possibly.
remove them
So
from
you
my resume.
okay.
So during that time, I informed my employers this is what's going on from Andre Ashmore, Tony Ashmore, Ryan Mitchell, Victor Marshall.
So now you're going to have a lot of people that's going to say, why not just move on? You haven't had any contact with them in 10 years. You
Right.
removed them off of your resume.
I
You
have.
no longer work with the Village of Matson.
Yes.
Why are we still here?
Yes. And it's
Why
still
is it
resurfacing.
why why is it hard for you to be able to move on and put this in the past, throw it over your shoulder, throw it over your back, dig out a hole in the backyard and bury it, honey. Move on with your life.
And
What's
that's why
stopping you from doing that?
what's stopping me is because it's resurfacing. It's resurfacing. When I'm with my friends, when I'm with working, when I'm with social, it's still resurfacing.
And saying
Which is wrong.
it's resurfacing, meaning people are saying, so did you really go to college? Girl, did you really graduate 8th grade?
Oh yeah,
Girl, did you really get that score
and
on your SAT? This is what's going on when you're in your social circles and when you're dealing with family and in your work situation. Are employers making you go through more steps because of them saying that you're not really educated like you're saying you are? Like,
it's just rumor stating, okay, well, she she doesn't she doesn't she's simple minded.
mhm,
I'm not. That is slander to me.
mhm, mhm.
That is defamatory statements. Okay. As far as being an embarrassment. Well, how an embarrassment? That's an embarrassment to me to do this, to set me up at the village and saying that I'm an embarrassment. Well, why would you say that I'm
So,
an embarrassment?
so it
All of
sounds
these,
like to me, these people, these four people, they have a hell of an influence from Matson to Chicago. Sound like
yes,
because you haven't had any contact with them in 10 years,
yes,
and things that they said 10 years ago is still affecting you to this day. So
yes,
for you not even to have a conversation with them, and all of this is still going on, they've got some hell of an influence.
yes, and this is correct. So that's why I'm here to tell my story and find out why would you do this? How did I cheat?
Now we're asking the why here live.
Yes.
Have you ever reached out personally to ask the why individually? Why
No,
not?
because right now I'm working with my attorney to sue
Now,
for damages.
but
Because
do you believe?
my livelihood has been affected with this. My employment has been affected with this. My reputation has been slandered.
But do you believe that there may have been some reconciliation if within this 10 years maybe you reached out and maybe even reaching out to the head, to the ex-boyfriend, and saying, hey, what's going on? What's going on?
No,
Why are I think there's a song out there saying you still talking about it's been 3 years we ain't been together and you still talking about me telling your friends you're still with me. So I'm just thinking that maybe a phone call, maybe an
no,
email, maybe you see where we at. Once
right.
again, we're gonna go ahead and promote. We are right now currently at the Wild Blossom Winery on 9030 West Hermitage in Beverly. Make sure you come check them out. They make their own wine, honey. It's amazing. Now, why hasn't there's been no mediation? Has any of them tried to say, hey, this is 10 years. We grown. Let's get past this. Why are we carrying it? This is 2024.
This is correct.
And this is the 11th day of 2024,
And a
a
new
whole new
year.
year.
Yes.
Why are we bringing this into the new year?
And that's what I want to have clarification. Why are you still this turmoil that I'm going through? Everyone that's been affected has been upset, has been stressed, stating, Jerry, we know you didn't cheat on your college education.
So
They're wrong.
let me ask you this.
So, but I'm still faced with this. My employers who I've worked for and worked with has been faced with this. Family, my sorority has affected my sorority. I had to step down and inform my sorority sisters. I need to step down from my committees because this slander, this
But you've had to step down
yes,
over people saying that you're stupid, girl, honey. I'm not gonna call you a girl, but honey, I could
yes,
probably get caught. I have 4 children, and I know for a fact they ain't probably ain't said it in my face, but I know they got a text message group. My 4 children, they have a text message group, and I've heard some of the things that I'm being called in between my children's text message group. Honey, they don't call me stupid. I'm the mama from hell. Let them tell it, because I don't take no mess. You got to wash them dishes and take out that garbage, and you can't sleep past 9 a.m. in my house. So I don't been called everything under the sun,
it
honey.
has
And
affected me. Yes, it
and
has. It has affected me.
So
mentally, physically.
what happens? Let's just say those four people: Andre Ashburn,
Ashmore.
Ashmore, Tony Ashmore, Victor Marshall,
Yes.
and the
The
third,
ex-boyfriend.
and the
Brian
third,
Mitchell.
Bryant Mitchell. Let's just say they get this interview. They see this, they get a whiff of this, and they say, they reach out to me, or they even reach out to you and say,
No,
Jerry,
they wouldn't reach out
we
to me.
never knew you felt like that, or we didn't know, or what if wifey Tony Patterson reaches out and said, I didn't know that this was affecting you this way. I'm a woman. I would never have this done to another woman because I can understand what if they see this interview and they come to you and they say that. Does that end everything?
I want to have some type of closure with a formal written apology and stating how, why, and what. Why would you do this? I have been
I mean,
damaged.
I
My
can tell you
reputation,
why. Because it's drama.
it is. My reputation has been damaged, livelihood, and also my employment. The, I've been damaged. So yes, I want a formal apology and addressing the how, why, and what. And yes, you do owe a compensation for damages. Yes.
And if they were to say, listen, I'm willing to sit down with you or Zoom with you, or if they shoot you a text message and say, honey, I'm sorry. I didn't know that this would go on for 10 years, but I'm not doing a written apology. Then where are we? What if they're willing to talk to you? I invite all of you to come on down here and we can have a panel discussion we can have a panel discussion if that's the case. But if their feelings aren't what you think they are and they're not at the magnitude that you think they are, or maybe they've died down over the 10 years and they say, look, I'm not willing to do anything written, but Jeri, I'm sorry, but I'm not willing to give you a written statement, but I'm sorry. Will we still go further with this? Or
It's
after
still,
this 10 years,
it's still go
will their sorries, Jeri, we're sorry. It was stupid. It was 10 years ago. You do know 10 years, you may be the only one that remembers all the details because you're affected. So you're hurt.
Exactly.
But
I'm permanently damaged.
a lot of times when we have situations with other people, sometimes other people they go on. So what do you say about the fact that you may be giving them power? You may have given them power for 10 years and they have not thought twice about what happened when all of them were no longer working in the village, or didn't get back with the boyfriend, and over 10 years none of you have laid eyes on each other. Who is to say that they even remember any of this? You remember it because you're hurt, but who is to say they even remember? And if they were to say, Jeri, I don't even really remember all of what happened, and I'm so sorry for 10 years. I can't give you back your 10 years, but I'm so sorry. I ain't doing nothing written, but I'm sorry.
It needs to
Then
be written. It needs
you're
to be
not
from.
you're not accepting
No, I'm not
a
accepting
verbal apology
no,
whatsoever.
it needs to be written. It needs to be written and read. It needs to be written and read.
So let's take some time, look into the camera. Let's take some time and address each person. Tell them how you feel, what it's done to you over this 10 years, and your outcome. Talk to the camera and tell our viewers.
Andre Ashmore, Tony Ashmore, Brian Mitchell, Victor Marshall. I am demanding and requesting and demanding a formal written apology stating how, why, and what you would do this to me. And it has affected others. It has affected close relationships. It has affected relationships with my employment. It has affected my family. So, yes, I am requesting and demanding a formal written apology from the four of you. And in closing, I want to make my statement clear. I want this to be put behind, but yes, you do. You owe a formal written apology and addressing how, why, and what. Because it is
Now,
wrong.
now, for the record, let's go on camera. Your credentials.
Yes.
Where did you go to school, honey?
I went to Eastern Illinois University.
Eastern Illinois University. When did you graduate?
I graduated December 1991.
December 1991. And you graduated with
Yes,
a
a degree.
diploma.
I
With a,
have a degree.
with a diploma and a degree. So
Yes.
we can check that off the list.
Thank you.
You did not cheat on your education.
Thank you.
Now, let's address you being stupid.
Yes, that's another factor. Because this is from
Let's
the
address
ex.
it.
This is from the ex-boyfriend.
Okay. Now, hold on now. You say that's
Yeah,
from the ex-boyfriend.
from the ex-boyfriend, yeah.
Now,
Andre Ashmore.
Jerry?
Tony Ashmore and Brian Mitchell never said I couldn't read and write.
Jerry?
Never said I was stupid.
Jerry,
This is the
I'm gonna tell you
ex-boyfriend.
like this. I done been stupid with some men before. I can tell you I done been stupid with some men before. So now if the stupid is coming from the boyfriend,
That's what I said. Now, who is stupid here? Who's the embarrassment? Who's stupid here for the text messages to Brian Mitchell?
okay, so you ain't going along with that.
So,
You wasn't stupid in that relationship. That relationship you wasn't stupid for. You wasn't stupid in it.
and who's the embarrassment here? Who's the embarrassment for false lawsuits suing my college education? In the four of you.
Now, my husband might be in the background and say, you gonna sit there and say you've been stupid over some men. But I know there's some women in this building today that can attest, honey. When it comes to that thing down there, I done been stupid. I know I should have ran. I should have did a 360 and I should have ran. I mean, from high school all the way, probably a few years ago, I should have ran because I think I admit I was a little stupid when it came to
Well,
that thing down there. Because you know, when that thing get to moving, it'll make you go all the way, way off and forget everything. If you forget all your smarts, everything my mama taught me, baby, in 18 years, that boy taught that out me and skin out that out my skins in 5 minutes, honey.
well, Miss Queenie, as I stated, it has damaged me and my reputation. No, I
And
am
it's not
stupid.
right.
It's not right.
And it's not right. Okay,
It's damaged.
now, simple minded. Let's break down what is simple minded. I done called my children. I done called some people simple minded before. Let's break down what simple minded is and why did they refer to you as that?
This is this boyfriend. This is
The
the
boyfriend.
ex-boyfriend.
So this is the boyfriend. This is the culprit is the boyfriend.
Yes.
Dude. Let's talk to dude right now. Boyfriend, what's his name?
Victor.
Because you putting their names out there. So Victor Marshall, 10 years. You can't do nothing but call this woman stupid. I mean, how long were you with Victor?
It was a year relationship.
About a year of a relationship. So Victor, come on now. In a year's time, you know this woman can read and write. I'm sure y'all went to dinner and read a menu.
He has the text message, of course I can write. And you forward into Brian Mitchell.
Now hold on, Jerry. He got text message. Oh, that don't mean you can write. That mean you can type.
Still,
I'm just messing with you.
still, I can write.
But you are competent. And
Yes.
so the point, and I'm making fun a little bit of the situation because that you gotta you gotta share some light. You gotta share some light into everything. But
I
overall,
am
no
hurt.
one deserves to be defamed. No one deserves to be slandered.
Exactly.
Men and women, no matter what the relationship was when we were in it. No one wants to go away and you go and you tell your personal business of what was going on in your relationship with anyone out. No one wants that. Not a man, not a woman. No one wants to go through that, especially not for 10 years. So, Jerry, as of tonight, 10 years later, how are you feeling right now? Because you said to the present. And when you
And
say
I
to the
am-
present, we're talking today.
Today, I am hurt. I am furious. And I am highly upset because I have been damaged and everyone that's on my legal document has been affected by this. They have been upset. They have been faced with cheating lies, insults, degrading terms and language, and stressed. And the same for me. I'm going through migraine headaches and stress because they know I didn't cheat. They know I can regulate.
So why can't we in our new employment say, you know what, those people, they said what they said, I don't know whether they still saying it, they still, whatever the case is, things didn't work out, whatever. Why is it so hard to move on? Why is it so hard to move? Because it seems like, to me, it seems like this has you still here. And your body language, your tone, you're still 10 years ago
Yes.
with this hurt.
And it's still to the present.
Why is it so hard for you to let go?
I want to let go, and every time I let go, I'm still faced with it, and it's still affecting everyone,
So
and it's still
now
I'm still faced with it,
we talked a lot of general.
and it's gotten worse.
Give us some details because we talked general. Like all night you said, they defamed, they called you names and things like that, which, you know, we in America and you black, honey, so you done been called way worse than that. Why? Because I know for a fact a lot of our viewers are going to say, just move on. Move on. Forget it. These are four people that don't like you. Everyone's not going to like you. Forget them and move on. Talk to us in detail. We've got about 15 minutes left. In detail. What's been, give us 15 minutes to 10 years in detail.
As I said, it's resurfaced, and it has affected me personally. It's to the point, as I stated, that I had to step down with my sorority because before it has occurred, it has affected me personally as far as with my family. It has affected me with my employers.
Now, when you say family, we know that does the ex-boyfriend have relationships? Do you all have mutual friends within your
We
family
have,
circle?
not with family, but with my social circle, yes.
Okay, so when you say it's affecting you and your family, how is it affecting you? Do the other three parties, do they have any relationships or
No,
mutual friends with your family?
no,
So how
not
is
at
it?
all.
So how is it affecting your family, or is it a
It has
situation?
affected my family because I have been tarnished. I have been damaged. They know I have been
But that's
damaged
that's affected you,
with me, and it
affecting
has
your
affected my
family,
family. Yes, it
affecting your
affected my
family.
family.
Is it a situation that maybe is one of those things that when you walk into a room, you feel that everyone is laughing at you, and they might not even really know what's going on? Do you think that maybe it's so embedded in you that you're giving the energy to it to affect your life?
No, and I'm not. I'm trying to move on, but it's still I'm still
How
confronted with
often do
it.
you how often do you talk about this?
I try not to talk about it, but from hearsay and from reports, I am
What type of
still
reports?
stating Victor Marshall with all of his slander, his
So these things have been documented
yes, and then also
under the
with
village of Matson.
not with under the village of Madison, but
Okay.
I the current village president,
Hmm.
Sheila Chavez Current, she does have all information of what has transpired, and she know I didn't cheat on my college education.
Now, what's your relationship with the new person taking over that took over that position? What's your relationship with her?
I I know her personally, so
Okay.
she know during that time frame when Andre was the president at the time, he's wrong.
So you're just basically upset that people are able to work or be around your circles and they know what these people said about you
Right.
overall. So that's
Yes.
pretty much what it is. It doesn't
Yes.
feel good when you go into your circles, you're sitting there and
And
everyone
all of
knows.
this, right? Exactly. Exactly.
And you know that the people in your circle, they know this because they're bringing these things to you.
Yes, they know. They know. And which is hurtful to me. And as I stated, my relationships and friendships has been affected by this.
And the only thing that is going to right this wrong is a written apology,
Exactly. A formal written
a formal
apology.
written apology. Now, let's just let's just say no one's willing. No one's willing to give a formal. No one's willing to give that formal apology. No one's willing to even. What if they say, listen, this is 10 years. It is so stupid. It is so petty. I am not going to engage. I'm not going to reply. I'm not going to deal with it whatsoever. As far as we won't go into it, but I know you do have some legal things that you're going into of this.
Right.
What if in that situation it's not enough for a legal case? They don't want to give an apology. They don't want to touch it. They don't want to be bothered with it. And you're stuck with not getting what you want. What can Queenie do in 2024 to help Jeri get past people calling you stupid and simple man?
Being here tonight and sharing my story helps. This is a new year.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go through this.
Mhm.
And I don't want my relationships to still be stressed because they have 8 years worth of stress being under distress, 5 years being under distress, 8 years being under distress, 2 years being under distress with this turmoil that I have faced and they're being a part of has affected them.
So 2024, January 2024. What are we going to do to get past it?
What I'm going to do to get past it, I'm still working. My employers, my relationships, my colleagues, they know
And you right now your work situation, it's pleasant.
it is.
So
That's what I said. I love my job.
so it's
I love
not
working.
it's no
Yes,
longer affecting your work situation because
because they know.
your current work situation is pleasant. They've gotten a heads up. They understand it's stupid. Is that don't even if anything comes from these people, just let it go. They understand that life is pleasant now within work. Son is 24 years old.
Yes.
He's moved on.
Well, he has, but he know his mother has that
Hmm.
effect has been damaged
Hmm. Hmm.
and has stressed him as well. So being here tonight is shining a light on
Hmm.
my side of the story.
And at this point, and I keep going back to what if you don't get what you're looking for from them? Because we know people can be stubborn. People can be stubborn. People can be in their ways, and they just say, I just don't want to be bothered with it. I don't want to be bothered with it at all." I keep going back to that because I want to find an area. I want to find where Jeri can move on because I don't because 10 years is a long time
It is.
for this
It
to be
is.
hanging over your head.
And it still
And
is.
sometimes I've got some things. I got some people that I probably would like to hit with my car from high school. But I can't go hit them people with my car from high school because we grown now.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So they probably won't say, I'll give you this. When I was in high school, I was a handful, a bit of a knucklehead. And in my yearbook, um, the adults allowed the students to put in my yearbook that I would be most likely in 10 years to be like dead in jail or a dolphin or something like that. Now, that stayed with me for a long time. A lot of what I do now is showing that, yeah, remember what y'all said about me when I was 14? Well, I'm 42 now, and you tuned in to my platform. And I've never gotten an apology. Some of those people that were on that yearbook committee, I'm friends with on Facebook, and I like and love some of their things because I never got that apology. Some of those teachers that were involved are dead now, so I ain't gonna get the apology. So I had to move on. It didn't feel good, but I had to. And so, it is what it is. And I never got that apology from them. But it fueled me to make sure that I knew within myself she ain't dead, she ain't locked up, and she ain't a dope fiend. She's very well, very professional. She getting paid and she living a good life. And I've turned it around. And that was my motivation to move on. So where can we find some motivation for what they've done to you to shine if you don't get what you're looking for? And 2000 put this to rest in 2024 and move on. And then even with this broadcast now, you said your piece. You
Yes, I
said it.
have.
Everyone that's tuned in on my end, everyone that's tuned in on your end, everyone that's going to tune in to the rebroadcast, I get thousands of views to my website. This is also going on my website because you want it out there.
Yes.
So thousands of people. We have two stations in Ghana, in Africa. We are downloaded in over 176 countries. So there's a good possibility that Jeri, people in over 176 countries, people in Africa, people in Chicago, people on your timeline, people on my timeline, people on her timeline, the people that are sitting in this room here today, they have all heard your story. It is not true. These people were wrong for what they did. It's out there now. You got your story out there now.
Yes.
And I want to close with, will you be okay and able to move on? And I'm going to follow up with you. I'll call you in about 6 months and say, Jeri, we moved on. We want to know. So we'll close with saying, will you be able to 2024, even if you don't get what you want, find some type of way to move on and get past this, because you are coming back and you are having a pleasant situation in your workplace. Your family knows it's not true. Your son, he's past it. He know mama was hurt, but he's past it. 2024, we want to see Jeri move on from this.
And I want to move on, but it's still surface. It's still here today because I have been permanently damaged.
Yeah.
So I am still. It's one that I'm with you, Miss Queenie, getting my words and my thoughts and what has occurred and what has transpired out.
All right.
Okay,
All
so
right.
it will be another level that I'm taking this to.
You have it there. This is live. This is live. And this is Real Talk with Queenie Greene. And Jeri has asked why, and she has told it all. And so what we're going to do is we're going to follow up. We're definitely going to follow up with you in about 6 months just to see where we are with this. And I myself, I am praying for you and your mental stability. I'm praying that your stress level goes down. I'm praying that you go completely past this and you soar and let this go past you. And last remarks, Mr. and Mr. Ashmore,
Yes.
Mr. and Mrs. Ashmore, Mr.
Brian Mitchell
Mr. Mitchell,
and Victor Marshall.
and Mr. Marshall. Leave this woman the hell alone and go on with your life, baby. Go on with your life. It is 10 years later. It is resurfacing. You wouldn't want nobody bringing out your dirty laundry for 10 years. Let this woman be and let's move on. You have had it here. Make sure you tune in for the next Queenie Greene exclusive. Tonight we are again with Jeri Clark-Patterson. Thank you for telling us your story.
And thank you. Thank you for having
I
me.
appreciate it. Make sure you download the app, tune in. If you like to know any more information about what we do, www.wvogchi.com. Make sure you download that app. That app is available in all Play stores, and leave us a review. Till the next time, Queenie Greene, we're out.
Yes.